Hi everybody, hope you're well. This video is going to be a continuation on from the skilling video I did about bare minimum skilling, which was a kind of an overview of what items and like a question center you need to get the most out of your horse, so the most skills. So this is going to be just looking at where and how those skills kind of amount to. So say for example your foal's born, okay? When your foal is born, it will be born with inborn skills. So if I add on the inborn skills of this horse, so there we go. The next thing that I would be interested in doing once I have the inborn skills, well, I'd say, well, whenever it does foal games, it's going to get 60 skills. So I add the 60 skills. So there we've got the inborn skills and after foal games. So then I go to the genetics of my horse and I look at the total, which is up here, which is the 1789 on this horse. So I add 1789.60, and that gives me 2407. So we're not quite there yet. Well, the next bit that comes into it, if I go into view details here, as I mentioned in the last video, the lessons. So if I add on the lessons, which is plus 178.5, then I've got my total skills that I have on the horse. As you can see, is displayed here, which is the same as what I've got on the calculator. Oh, I think I've added one, possibly got one little digit wrong there. But the one thing I will mention is there is the possibility for rounding things. So if just this down here, actually, please note there are maybe a slight difference between the calculated totals and the displayed totals as a result of certain rounding operations. That does actually happen. I had a horse, I think it was maybe a couple of years ago, and it didn't make sense at all, and nobody could figure out why. And then we realised that it was the rounding operations which were the reason, because I hadn't lost any skills, I hadn't done anything wrong, because I was so convinced I had somewhere, but it turned out to be the rounding operations. So there will sometimes be slight differences, but usually it's rare. The reason for that is because in computing, there are different types of numbers, and those numbers can go on past the second decimal point. So this is what I'm talking about here. This number actually might have a lot more zeros or things behind it, but you just can't see them. Just for example, okay. So that's how you work out the potential skills of a skiller if you do it to the maximum possible. Okay, so that's doing it completely right. Now obviously I'm going to try and see if I can find a horse that has suffered from the health penalty. So I'm sure I can find one somewhere. It's just a case of where. Let's see now. Right, I'm just going to pick one at random and hope I actually messed it up at some point. No? Okay, never mind then. But that is basically what I mean whenever I say a health penalty, is basically if you were training your horse when it had low health, you're penalised for that, so you lose skills. So then it would tell you down here that you lost skills on the horse, and I just can't think of potentially which horse. I know that I have a horse that has lost skills, but I just can't remember where it is. So unless I have a brain moment, which doesn't feel likely at the moment, I don't think I'm going to find it. But oh, okay, health penalty. When you train your mare or have her go on rides or enter competition, she's not 100% health. She would earn fewer skill points than when she was at full health. If her health had always been 100% during training, sessions, rides, and competitions. So this is the one thing I will say. It's only during these three things that that's important. Obviously, and rides on the beach as well, actually. So it doesn't matter if it's low health when you're doing lessons, but rides, training, competitions, and beach rides, that's where it's important. So if you get a health penalty, it will tell you down here. If it doesn't appear like on my other skiller here, that means you didn't lose any. So that is looking just at the skills and where they're coming from. So I'll leave that there, and then I'll sort of move on and talk a little bit more in detail about skillers. So anyway guys, I hope you had a lovely day. Bye bye.